Joao Neves in, Gallagher decision, Mainoo partner, Man United dream midfield with £140 million move. Joao Neves continues to sit on the tip of Man United's tongue after becoming the latest graduate from Benfica's well-established academy. The merry-go-round that is Manchester United's transfer rumour mill continues to rumble on, with nearly a new name linked with a move to Old Trafford every day. On Thursday, Lille striker Jonathan David was a fresh name thrown into the mix as a potential new number 9. On Friday, Chelsea midfielder Conor Gallagher emerged as a candidate to strengthen Erik ten Hag's midfield. Anyone that watched United last season quickly realized that they considerably lack a consistent midfield trio throughout. Bruno Fernandes and then Kobbie Mainoo both became consistent names in the middle of the park, but there was also something missing. Scott McTominay, Christian Eriksen, and Casemiro did the job when needed, but there always seemed to be a lack of world-class quality. The task on the club's newly constructed hierarchy's hands is recruiting that quality ahead of next season. FFP complicates things for United, like it does for many teams in the Premier League, but there is a list of candidates that present a realistic and affordable opportunity. Gallagher, an England international, could be available for just £42 million. However, constant links to Joao Neves do counter the Red Devils' required cleverness in the market. The Benfica star has a reported €120 million, £101.5 million, release clause in his contract in Portugal, but suggestions in Europe have claimed he could be available for lower than €100 million, £84.5 million. Even then, that would make him United's second most expensive arrival. It's a predicament and will be no easy ask to get the right combination in midfield. But what would Ten Hag's dream midfield trio look like for the first game of the season against Fulham in August? Here, Men Sport takes a look. Joao Neves. United and Portuguese wonderkids have a history of working out. Neves seems to be the number one target for United, and when watching him play, it's obvious why. 88.5% pass completion rate last season with 56 passes leading to a shot, for a player who sits deep, is impressive. Unsurprisingly, Paris Saint-Germain are keeping tabs on his situation, and after freeing up millions on Kylian Mbappe's wages, there's no doubt that they can afford him. However, the player's choice matters, and the chance to follow in the footsteps of Cristiano Ronaldo could be tempting for Neves. Benfica are understandably going to do their very best to keep hold of their midfield man. At 19, he has the world at his feet, and he isn't expected to stay at Benfica for much longer. His addition would fit in nicely with the man to follow him on this list. Kobbie Mainoo. United's own academy product has been a trending topic over the last 24 hours for being kept on the bench for England, but that's a conversation for another day. Mainoo, 19, has the potential to be a first-team regular for years to come, with him so mature and clever in his defensive work. Something Ten Hag's side really lacked last year was a solid base with two midfielders sat in front of the defenders. Conor Gallagher. This one is more of an alternative to Neves. A slightly different profile in midfield, but someone who would improve Ten Hag's options. Gallagher has proved to be a quality Premier League player over the last 2 seasons, but Chelsea's own FFP concerns mean he's in the shop window. A more box-to-box midfielder, the England international could be the missing piece for United. Of course, a pivot of Mainoo and Neves sounds unbelievable, but having a water carrier there who can do the defensive and offensive side of things rather well was often missing in certain games. Coming in as a homegrown player for just £42 million, Gallagher's signature is highly contested, and United could certainly do worse. Bruno Fernandes. Despite criticism and speculation of him potentially leaving the club, Fernandes will once again play a crucial part for United and Ten Hag next season. Since moving from Sporting CP, he has scored 79 goals and 66 assists in 233 games. That is a decent return. Question marks over his commitment to the club should not carry over to next season. Fernandes recently spoke about being proud to represent the club, and he will have another season to prove his status as world-class as United's attacking midfielder. Man United's dream midfield next season: Kobbie Mainoo, Joao Neves, Conor Gallagher, Bruno Fernandes. £25M no-brainer, Jonathan David. Manchester United transfer verdict. Man United continue their search for another striker this summer transfer window, and Lille's Jonathan David has returned back on their radar. Manchester United and Jonathan David seem to be a match made in heaven. The two parties have been linked nearly every transfer window, but no move has ever come to fruition. Yet this summer, according to reports, contact has been made with the striker's representatives over a potential deal. The Eye have claimed that United are interested in the 24-year-old as Erik ten Hag seeks reinforcements for his attacking options. David is set to leave Lille this summer after the Ligue 1 club president Olivier Letain confirmed he is likely to depart. Since moving from KAA Gent, the Canada international has bagged a whopping 84 goals in 183 games. The striker has one more year left with Les Dugs and will leave the club as a free agent at the end of next season if a move doesn't happen this summer. It's reported that Lille value him at £25 million. Unfortunately for United, they are not alone in their pursuit. It's suggested that Tottenham, Aston Villa, and West Ham are all showing strong interest in the striker. So, should United enter negotiations with David for as little as £25 million? Or should they look elsewhere? Here, Men Sport writers give their thoughts on the striker. Tyrone Marshall. David fits the bill as the kind of striker United need to bolster their attack because he is available for what looks like a cut price deal. It is in that £25 million kind of range that they are shopping, and it's why Joshua Zirkzee is of interest, with a £34 million release clause. David has caught the eye in France, and his goal-scoring record across 4 years in Ligue 1 is pretty impressive, but there are doubts as to whether he can translate that to the Premier League. Interest in him previously from Premier League clubs has never translated to anything concrete. His goal-scoring record is hard to ignore, however, and his last 2 seasons have both seen him register 26 in all competitions. That is a good return, and with just a year left on his contract and an itch to move on from Lille, it might be a deal that is worth a shot. He certainly has a style that would appear to suit Ten Hag's United, with speed to burn on the break. Hodgland needs competition and support, and it needs to be in the £25 million to £35 million price range, which makes David a lively option at the very least. Stephen Railston. David has an impressive goal-scoring record in Ligue 1, but the elephant in the room is the standard of the French top flight is a world away from the Premier League. Nonetheless, he seems to have the required qualities to succeed in England and could be a value signing at £25 million. United's budget is expected to be stretched this summer, and it seems likely they will be forced to be creative in the market. Someone like David or Joshua Zirkzee might fit the billing, but I'd throw the names of Rodrigo Muniz and Niklas Füllkrug into the mix. Fulham striker Muniz enjoyed a purple patch last season, and although he failed to score at Old Trafford in February, he hit the post and his performance caught the eye. Füllkrug plays for Borussia Dortmund and was impressive in their Champions League run, providing his side with a focal point and a menacing presence in the opposition's box. Josh Holland. Jonathan David being available for just £25 million has to be a no-brainer for any Premier League team. In years gone by, Lille have demanded around £60 million, so he's a steal right now. It's no secret that United need another striker to provide healthy competition to Rasmus Højlund. Anthony Martial's season perfectly summed up his spell at the club, with injuries holding him back, meaning Højlund was faced with far too much pressure. David has scored 26 goals in both of the last 2 seasons, including 19 in Ligue 1 alone last season. His goal-scoring record is favourable, and at 24, he has already made over 260 club appearances. I'm a big fan of him and have been for some time. Being able to play out wide, also, means he could help the likes of Marcus Rashford. For me, a simple must for United. Jack Flintham. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to paint the picture that United have truly changed their approach to transfers, then a move for David should be at the top of their to-do list. Should the fee of £25 million be the desired amount Lille want, snap their hands off now and be done with it. At 24, the Canadian international has stacks of potential, and his 26 goals last season will be enticing for potential suitors. Signing a goalscorer is so difficult, as United have shown over the past few windows. So in my eyes, for a relatively low fee and a good tally of goals in the bag, David is a steal at that price. It would be a relatively risk-free move, and United have the potential to add more value to their investment. Considering Napoli's Victor Osimhen is likely to go for more than £100 million, David is where the smart money is in the summer transfer window. Tom Coley. David has always felt like a Premier League player in waiting. When it comes to some of the other options around, he is not as hyped, but still has a seriously impressive goal-scoring record. From his first senior year at Gent as a teenager until now at Lille, he has scored 12, 18, 13, 15, 24, and 19 league goals with 23 assists across those seasons too. This is maddeningly consistent and impressive. David is a good price and does more than just score. He really does seem to be a remarkably unglamorized, but seriously good alternative to some of the best out there. United should be doing anything to make him into their own version of Alexander Isak or Lautaro Martinez. David is a willing channel runner with sharpness inside and around the box to help his teammates. He's gold for the sort of price that Lille are reportedly asking. It would be a real error not to make as much of this as possible. Isaac Silakan. United are in desperate need of reinforcements up front after scoring just 57 goals in the Premier League last term. Cristiano Ronaldo was the club's last prolific number 9, but his age meant that he was never a long-term solution. It's hard to tell how good Rasmus Højlund will be, but when in form he would go on minute runs where he couldn't stop scoring. However, there were large waves of the campaign where he was either injured or struggled in front of goal. It is why another striker is so essential for United, and Jonathan David being available for just £25 million feels like a brilliant deal. Not being involved in the Champions League next season is going to hurt United though, and with Lille playing in Europe's elite competition, he may feel it is better to stay or move elsewhere. It's hard to see another striker of David's quality being available for that fee this summer. If interested in joining, then it is a deal United cannot afford to turn down. Isaac Johnson. I think trying to lure David to Old Trafford would be a clever move, if his price tag is indeed as low as £25 million. Only Kylian Mbappé scored more than his 19 goals in League One last season, and it's a genuine surprise that other clubs are not taking more of an immediate interest. At 24, he offers a bit more playing experience for United than Rasmus Højlund and would push him on to reach his potential. His potential low fee would address a hole in the squad for minimal cost, which will pique the interest of Sir Jim Ratcliffe amid tight FFP constraints. The risk is that he is too akin to Højlund in his style, which could leave United frustrated if they wish for something different at any stage of a match. Although that said, until the final 2 games of the season, it's not like Erik ten Hag considered trying something different last season. Man United transfer news recap. Michael Olise update. Leny Yoro, contact. Joao Neves decision. Manchester United transfer news with the latest headlines and updates from Old Trafford, including stories on Conor Gallagher, Jonathan David, and Jarrad Branthwaite. Manchester United's summer transfer plans have progressed forward once more this week after the club were linked with plenty of players since the window opened. A new centre-back, central midfielder, and attacker are expected to be improved before the window closes. All 3 positions were problematic for Erik ten Hag last season, and moves to act quick have already been put in place. A bid worth up to £43 million for Everton's Jarrad Branthwaite has already been turned down, and their hopes of signing Nice defender Jean-Claire Todibo appear to be overdue to a UEFA ruling. Interest in Lille star Jonathan David has perked up over the last 24 hours. The Canada international enters the final year of his contract in France next week and could be the perfect signing to compete with Rasmus Højlund. Surprise links with Chelsea midfielder Conor Gallagher have also emerged, whilst Portugal and Benfica midfielder Joao Neves remains one to watch. Just a week into the summer window, it has already been a busy one, and we will be here to bring you the latest Neves decision. So, not only is Alvarez said to be the primary midfield target, the chances of getting him have been given a boost. With Joao Neves' huge release clause, which is described here as being £70 million rather than the more widely reported £100 million plus, not expected to be triggered, United will look elsewhere. It is said United will inquire for Neves if Alvarez fails, but that they are already not planning to meet the valuation for the Benfica man, which is confusing.